Hello. Hi, good morning. Thank you guys so much for the time. For those of you who were in the panel earlier, I mentioned earlier, my name is Paul. I look after brand communications at Jabra. And today I'm excited to tell you about how we've taken quite a specific use case of people who purchase our products in a marketplace that's broad, and I'll show you how vast it is just now, and extract further lifetime value from them and have the opportunity to bring them in and give them more brand touch points with Jabra than they might have if they've just made that purchase from, let's say, Amazon, and we never had an interaction with them afterwards. So for starters, I'll give a quick introduction to who we are at Jabra. So for those of you who don't know, we're about 154 years old this year. We were founded in Denmark in 1869. We're globally Danish in that we have over 7,000 employees. We're present in over 100 different countries, but we are headquartered in Copenhagen, Denmark. And we're also a bit of an R&D powerhouse. So we're one of the only audio and video specialists in the world to have professional, medical, gaming, military and consumer audio technology under one roof of R&D. So where does that leave us today? Well, our product offerings can be found in a large number of use cases, whether it's trucking in warehouses, someone who's going for a run and wants an active pair of earbuds, as we'll talk about more today, someone who's in healthcare or government, public sector, knowledge workers, like I imagine most of us in the room are, or anyone who's maybe in a call center. We have the right audio solutions for you. But today, I'm going to be speaking to quite a specific use case around our consumer database. Why? Well, our consumer database is by far our biggest one, and it's the one where we have the most interaction with our end customers, our ultimate audience, who we're able to influence and hopefully extract more value from over a longer period of time. So I'm going to take a use case, and I'm going to take a product that we launched last year. So last August, we launched two new pairs of earbuds. We launched a Jabra Elite 8 Active and Elite 10. For those of you who don't know, it's a pair of little wireless earbuds. Most of you would think of AirPods. We do a similar product. It's a competitor to AirPods. And it's something you might take when you go for a run, whether you want to be on the train in the morning and you're commuting and you want to block out noise around you. And we would generally try and make quite a big splash about this. So obviously, the first thing we can do is launch to the database. And that's fairly straightforward. We have millions of contacts in the database. We can tell how they came into our database. So maybe they purchased a product from us beforehand, in which case we would target them with some upsell messaging. Maybe it's time for an upgrade. Perhaps there's someone who has entered our database but we know doesn't own a product, in which case we can give them more product awareness types of mails. But launching to our database is quite straightforward. The issue is most people who buy these earbuds don't buy it from us directly, and that's a bit of a challenge. So if we look at the earbud purchase journey, this is something I'm sure most people in this room can relate to. Anytime you think you want a new product, what's the first thing you do? So you'll go, I need new headphones. Maybe the first place you go is to Google, and you start to look at best running headphones, best headphones for working out, best headphones for CrossFit, best active noise cancellation headphones, whatever that might be. And you'll come up with a few options or brands. And you could apply this to any type of product that you might be looking for, even if it's not earbuds. You'll then go through and maybe read a few press reviews, see what the media have to say about it. That'll help inform your decision a little bit more. Maybe at some point, you actually come to our website to get some information or see how we're talking about our products. But the likelihood of you buying from us at that point is quite slim. You'll then maybe look for social endorsement, whether that's going on to social media or having a conversation with someone over coffee, asking what your friends or colleagues are using, and see what type of input you get there. And at that point, if you think you have an idea about what you want to purchase, you might then do a marketplace search. And ultimately, we know that you're going to buy from whoever offers you the best deal. When it comes to consumer technology, it's fairly commoditized. The consumer has a lot of choices and a lot of different places they can buy from. So if we look at somewhere like the UK, you might purchase from Amazon. I know Amazon are shipping about 1,000 products a minute. So in this talk, we'll have over 30,000 products leaving a warehouse globally to go to Amazon customers. They're responsible for a huge percentage of e-commerce shopping globally, regardless of what sector that's in. Maybe you might go to John Lewis. You might want to buy from Currys or Argos in the UK. And there's a very small likelihood that you'll come to buy from us direct. But we know as the vendor that the biggest benefit we get on our margin is when you buy direct from us. So ultimately, it's in our interest to have you buy from us. But at the same time, if you go and purchase from Amazon, you might not know how to set up your product properly. You might not get the best experience. we have no ability to capture your contact, so therefore we can't extract further revenue from you. And ultimately, if you buy from John Lewis, whether it's through a brick and mortar store that you go in to purchase from, or from their e-commerce store, you could be a ghost to us. So we tried to figure out at Jabra, what can we do to potentially capture these contacts, bring them into a database, and upsell and cross-sell to them more effectively to extract more lifetime value from them over time, and hopefully then get those bigger margins that we know we can get when we sell direct. So let's say you happen to choose Jabra, or whatever brand you went with, and now you're very happy because you get your UPS or your FedEx delivery, and everyone gets excited when they get a new product. So the first thing you'll ask is, what's in the box? And this is where we realized we have the biggest opportunity to influence our end customers and try and get them in. It's our one shot, if you purchase from Amazon or somewhere else, to bring you into our world. So what we try and do is we tell people, anyone who's bought our product, on the packaging that they can activate a 2-year warranty when they register their product with us. And ultimately, everything is pushing to our app, because once we get them into a digital ecosystem where they can see benefits, we have the ability to capture their contact. And so what we do is the first thing when you open up your Jabra box is you can see on this middle section of the slide this call to action of download the Sound Plus app. It lets you customize your earbuds, and at the same time you can activate a 2-year extended warranty when you register your product with us. And once you register your product with us, this is where we can start to potentially drive some value. So ultimately, as I mentioned, we know that most people are purchasing from somewhere else. When it comes to the first 6 months of a post-product launch that we had last year, we saw around 7% of people were purchasing directly from Jabra. So potentially, those 7% we have the ability to influence directly after they purchase. But we've got 93% of Jabra product owners who we don't know if they're satisfied with their product, we don't know if they're using it properly, we don't know if we can sell to them in the future, and we need to find a way to do this. So despite the fact that only 7% of people are purchasing directly, we end up seeing 25% of people who purchase registering their product with us. And 78% of that quarter who register their new product with us are consenting to marketing permission. But when you look at it ultimately, you've got 90% of our product registrations coming from people who've purchased from someone else. And so this is ultimately a way that we can get people in and start to influence them. So once we've captured their contact and gotten marketing permission, we're able to then start looking at what's the call to action? What's the way that through CRM we can start to influence them and drive, firstly, a better product experience? Because there's nothing worse than investing £150 in a set of earbuds and feeling like they don't work, you don't understand the controls, they're not optimized to how you like to listen to your music or your podcasts, and there's a whole world of customization that you're just not unlocking. So whether you purchase from us directly or whether you register, the first thing we'll always do is try get you to download an app. And the reason for that is because we can then guide you through an intro to the product, which will hopefully increase your NPS score over time. We want to be able to make sure that someone who's purchasing our product is having the best experience of it, and ultimately that they're going to be a net promoter for us. So what happens once we've done this? We get people into the guide, we get them onboarded, we tell them how to get the most out of their product, and the first big result that we've seen with this is a 50% increase in the net promoter score that someone has if they've gone through this product onboarding, which ultimately comes down to our ability to capture them in the database, get their contact, and then give them the best brand experience that we can with our new product. And this will help us hopefully get them then referring their friends, referring family, finding themselves much more satisfied with their product. And then the next thing that we can do after that is start to go, who are you as a user? What data have we captured from you? And we'll know what product they've ordered, so we might know a little bit more about them from that. So we can then start to go, what might you want? And this is, I think, really where with Optimove, we've been able to create a bit of a powerhouse with automations by being able to go, what accessories might we be able to sell you? What type of direct purchase benefits can we give you that would convince you to buy a second product? We're also a brand who do a lot of enterprise products. As I mentioned, we have medical, professional, gaming, technology, all within the same house. And so maybe it's an opportunity for us to say, you bought a pair of active earbuds, but do you have the right technology to work from home if you're a hybrid worker? Do you have the right setup if you're a gamer? And so ultimately, it lets us extract a lot more value from the user over time. And I think our long-term ambition is to be able to automate most of our CRM. We have a massive e-commerce team who are feeding in different commercial offers every single month from all around the world. But we know, and I'm sure you know as well, that there's a massive amount of work that goes into this manual campaign-based building. You have to localize, maybe in up to 15 or 20 languages. You have to make sure that all of the T's and C's are correct, that the pricing is correct, that you're aligning with in-market offers that might be happening. So if there's a promo happening in the UK at the same time, that we are making sure that we're not upsetting any of our resellers by offering a promo that's not aligned with what is happening in region at the time. And so our long-term ambition is to minimize this, to run as many automations as possible, and to have an environment where we can target people with small campaigns, sending to a small number of people each day, and getting a lot of value from them over a long period of time. And so I think these are really the steps that we've taken, and it's the core message that I have today around what we've managed to do in terms of taking an audience who are predominantly not interacting with Jabra as a touch point at all. They're buying from marketplaces that we know is the preferable place to purchase from. And we found ways to be able to ultimately drive more value from them over time. And so the bottom line that we figured out is that there's two key things we can influence. The first one is on the NPS score. And I think this is a major way to be able to get word of mouth referrals that we know in consumer technology makes a huge difference to people's ultimate purchase decision. We're much more likely to place credibility in a friend or a colleague who's recommended a product to us than what we might read in a review from some type of magazine or newspaper. But then at the same time, once we've captured this contact in the database, we're able to grow the database. And what this means for us overall is that in 12 months after having captured a contact, we can extract on average around $3.50 per user who we've brought into the database. And we know that most of this is from people who've purchased a product but haven't purchased it direct. And so you might think $3.50 is not the biggest impact, but I think when you look at it over hundreds of thousands or millions of registrations, it actually starts to carve out quite a big slice of revenue that our CRM team is able to drive purely through automations. And maybe we have some value we can extract from them from a Black Friday sale or some type of ad hoc key moment that we have throughout the year, but that if we're able to bring in, let's call it 1 million users annually, from product registrations. We're able to extract $3.50 from them each, and we're able to do this largely through automations, that over a long period of time, this is going to drive a significant amount of value for us as a business. Today's presentation has been short. I've tried to keep it to the key data points that matter the most. And so I think there might be a little bit of extended time for anyone to catch me outside for a coffee if there are questions. But I wanted to say thank you for the time. I hope that you found what I was able to share somewhat interesting, and I look forward to meeting a few people and discussing in more detail after this session. So thank you very much.